Welcome back to our podcast where we talk about all things. It's giving beauty,
fashion,
pop culture, and a lot of kiki. I'm your pop culture baddie.
and your fashionable Scorpio.
So join us, Mommy Tiff,
And Chan.
as we get feminine chaotic.
What?
It's the name of the podcast, Feminine Chaos, duh.
Oh, I see what you did there. Hi, lovers. I'm Chan.
And I'm Tiff.
And this is the Feminine Chaos Podcast. Is this the Feminine Chaos Podcast?
Is this mic on?
Is this Michael? Is this camera on me?
Is this camera on me?
That's stupid, guys.
It's been a minute.
It's been.
I almost forgot the intro of this here podcast.
It's been
how
a.
long it's been.
It's been a country minute.
What's a country minute? I don't know what that means.
Like, you know, like a country mile. Well, I might have made that up, but you know, like a country mile. Like a country mile is like extra long. Like it's a country minute.
Okay.
It's a country minute. A little
A
Cowboy
country
Carter
minute.
minute, if
Right.
you will.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Well,
Slam effect.
welcome to the 13th episode of the Feminine Chaos, very chaotic podcast.
Yes.
Let's catch you up on some things. First and foremost, let's take a temperature of the room. How are you doing?
Honestly, I feel like I'm actually doing okay. Actually, like I feel like I could be. I don't want to say like I could be doing worse, but I really could be doing worse. I think, but I do think I'm in a state of like my brain and my body are trying to process all that has happened to me specifically in the past like month.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, we'll get into that.
Right.
But since the day I turned 25, I feel like the volume got turned up a little bit. And I was like, and I truly entered a new season of my TV show. Like if I was on Insecure, this would be a season break, new season. And they'll be like, oh, this bitch's life is fucked up. I feel like I'm in the season before Issa Rae made The Block.
Okay.
I'm like right before The Block happened. Like very much kind of like, fuck it. That's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
That's where I'm at right now.
I feel like
Still no romantic partner. Still no nigga. Still no bitch. No nothing.
zero zilch.
Zero zilch.
I personally feel like 2024 was a really great year for me. But this last month,
It was the month. It was the month. Because the year was great.
the year
was great. The year was wonderful.
A
But
grand
the
time.
month. Now we could get into the astrology. No, we can't. We're not gonna do that today. But look it up if you feel inclined.
you feel inclined.
If you feel moved.
Yeah, but apparently the stars and the moons, they doing a in the air. I'm not really a strong astrology girl, so I leave it up to this one to tell me what's going on in the Earthingtons, in the Spacingtons.
Y'all don't pay me to tell you what's going on, so you can get on TikTok and look it up like I did.
Wowzers. Wowzers.
Y'all not paying me at all.
Well, on that note, today's podcast is going to be a little bit different than how we normally do things on this podcast. For those of y'all who has been watching for some time, we typically have various segments. We have the Pulse, we have Girl Let's Talk, our beauty and fashion. We also have the Martini Club giving, the relationship advice or updates, if you will.
I mean, we can still do that this time around.
Okay.
You don't have anything you want to share?
Publicly? Sure.
Sure.
I will not be giving details because...
No, I think you could, yeah.
Chandler is trying to set me up. Anyways, but we're going to...
I like him.
Okay, we all like him.
Okay.
But this podcast is not about him. We need to catch them up on a bunch of other things before we get into my love life. But the thing is, I know he's watching this, so now I definitely have to say something because you said something. Anyways, this episode
and that's exactly why I did that.
About the
He
best...
just hung up the phone, y'all.
Anything else?
No, because you're going to tell it all.
Okay.
You're going to tell it.
Okay. So the best of 2024 is the theme of this episode. So we're going to be talking about the best movie that we think came out this year to the best album, the best song, best TV series, pop culture moment, trending moment, everything in between. But first, we're going to go ahead and get into best moments that we had this year as our personal life journeys, things that we have accomplished this year. And I'll let you go first, Chani.
Wow. Where I started this year was not where a bitch ended. that I need a drink in my hand for this.
I would pick it up, mind you. Martini lovers, Martini clubbers. We are drinking a Cutwater espresso martini,
Yep.
which when Chandler came back, because she literally went to the deli and the liquor store before we started.
Yep.
And she was just like, girl, I just got us the Cutwater espresso martinis.
I didn't know my liquor store had them.
I didn't know Cutwater had espresso martinis.
They do. This might tear up my stomach, so I am a little concerned. But that'll be a tonight issue. Maybe even a tomorrow morning issue. Tomorrow morning, but my stomach act quick.
So wait, is it tequila or what is it? It's vodka?
I actually don't know.
Because I feel like most
it's
Cutwaters
vodka.
are okay.
No, they're mixed.
Oh.
Yeah, they're mixed. I think this one might be vodka.
Okay. Before I get to lying.
But yeah. My year in review. So I started the year January 1st, 2024 in... Should I talk about Redacted?
Yeah. I think that's... Well, it's best moments.
Well, I was just going to do a year in review.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm going to do my best moments.
I'm going to do my year in review, which are not necessarily bad moments, but I think moments that were pivotal in the great moments.
I like that.
So January 1, 2024, we honestly had a really good new year. We went to the club. We
you and your friends, yeah.
You weren't there.
I wasn't there.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
We snuck our little shooters into the club, our little mini bottles into the club. We had a great time. So I know if I have a good New Year, I'm gonna have a good year. And
Right.
we had an amazing New Year's, and then we spent all of New Year's Day in my apartment cooking breakfast. We had a massive sleepover. We put the fucking the air mattress down. It was just very, very cute. And then we dropped the podcast.
And who is we though that you hung out with?
Shout
them out.
Okay. Shout out Calix, Joya, Kennedy, and Gian. We had us a night.
Period.
We had us a night. It was very, very fun.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't calm, but it was okay, I could get with this. Then
Period.
on January the 20th, we dropped
30th.
the 30th. Oh shit. On January the 30th, we dropped the pod. And on the same day, I ended a friendship with somebody who I definitely thought was going to be in my life for a very, very long time. And somebody who actually asked me to be in their wedding. So that came as a shock to me. Also, it was on Tiffany's birthday as well. So that was
it was a lot.
That was a lot. Let me tell you, after that ended, the blessings started rolling in because then I started working for Culture Con in the Creative Collective.
Okay.
So exactly.
Sometimes certain things got to move out so
move
things
out
can
in. Move in.
Mm-hmm,
move out the way so other things can move in.
Period.
And then, things were kind of business as usual for a while. Things are getting really not tough, but just hard for a moment because I was working a full-time job and then had basically a full-time freelance job.
Yeah.
And neither of the jobs I had at the time knew that I was working the other job. So it was very I was taking PTO to do work for my other job and then vice versa. And I was like, I can't go on like this for much longer.
Right.
But I ended up doing that for a whole year. Mm-hmm. So God's strongest soldier is sitting right here. Then I moved out of my beloved first ever New York apartment in Harlem. I lived there for 3 years. Exposed brick in every room, in-unit washer, dryer, 1.5 bathrooms. Very cute. It was very, very cute. It was very, very cute. There were tears shed and involved in the moving process. But A bitch moved out on her own.
A Harlem hottie.
A Harlem hottie turned into another part of New York hottie. I won't be
Right,
won't be disclosing. Won't be disclosing at the moment. But she's a 1-bedroom hottie, okay? Room has a door. Okay? And updated appliances, okay? I do have okay, my refrigerator is like kind of white, but it blends in with the cabinets. So like it's a fake white. I met a lot of really, really new people, like made new family, like invited more people into my family. I feel like I got closer with my family. For my 25th birthday, I threw a rager. We rented out. I say we because my mama's card went down, but I paid in spirit and I paid in gratitude.
Period.
But we rented out ass shaking, a lot of it. We rented out Cafe Urzuli with open bar for 3 hours, bitch.
Shout out Brooklyn.
Shout out Brooklyn and shout out Jocelyn Carter.
Yes.
My mother really came through. I hit her with the proposal probably in like September, and I said, hey mom, I want to throw a party. She said, what that got to do with me? I said, well, I would really like for you to be there at the party. She said, okay, when is it? I did it on November the 3rd, so it was a Sunday darty. And I was like, also, do you want to go half with me? And she was like, make me a proposal. Ooh. And then so I made a deck about why I felt she should pay for my birthday party.
I love a deck.
And she did. But she was originally only gonna pay for an hour of the open bar. But then, you know,
we had a good time.
We had a good time, and there was a lot of ass shaking involved.
So why
and
not?
every like moment I looked up, my mom was like whispering to the bartender, and she was like, add another hour. So literally every hour we were on the mic like, open bar extended. Like,
and let me mind you, because I was there, had such a time.
DJ'd by Jam Twice.
Shout out Jammy.
Shout out Jam.
No, I had such a good time at your party, and so basically, you didn't mention this, but the theme of Chandler's birthday party was to come in your version of Chan.
Yep. Dressed like me.
And did. So, I came with my clips, like how Chan has the clips in her hair.
The blazers.
I did a nice claw clip, slicked front with the clips, an oversized blazer with the shoulder pads, tennis skirt. Mm-hmm.
Real short skirts. The minis.
A belt around the blazer. Yeah. I forgot what I wore on my feet, though.
You had boots on.
Okay.
Heeled boots.
So that was my version of Chan.
Everybody showed up and showed out. And it's also nice. That's why when I see some of y'all tweeting, like, I would never mix my friend groups, I just simply don't align with that. Because any opportunity I can take to merge my friends, I'll do it. And we all just love each other. So having all my favorite people, some of people who met before, some people who've never met before, all my favorite people, and my parents, and Miss Patricia, all in the same room was truly a moment. Like, it was really, really a moment. And I think it was also just more of a moment for everybody to just have, like, so much fun and have, like, my mom be there having fun, too. Like, her, my dad, I said, they was in the corner cutting up. I said, okay, girl, they were cutting up.
I got the videos on my phone. Miss Johnson talking about stuff. Tiffany, you better not put me on no Instagram. I was like, it's not going nowhere, I promise.
So that was a moment. But then a month before then, CultureCon happened, and that was like an amazing professional moment for me, just to... Bitch, I did that. Like, that year, so like October was like the year anniversary of me getting laid off from my first job. And that year before, I could have never imagined what would be happening or going on a year later, to the point that, like, to be on this social team, to be a part of this great team, to be like alongside some people that are now like some of my favorites. Like, shout out Caitlin and Paige, but like I talk to Caitlin and Paige every day. And then like Khalid, I talk to Khalid all the time. Just like my people, like being able to find my people through that, but then also be able to grow professionally and creatively and be a part of something that's like means so much to so many people, and was something I like years ago could have never even dreamed about. Like, when I first started, Imani sent me a screenshot of a post from like 2018 that was made on the Creative Collective. And it was like, introduce yourself. And I was like, oh, hi, like I'm Chan. I'm from so-and-so and I do so-and-so. And like, I'm a social media manager. And she was like, look what I just found. And I was like, oh, wow. So like.
Full circle.
Full circle moment. So to be a part of that team in that moment, it was like really emotional. Like I just will not forget Thames performing to like close out the CultureCon weekend, and I was standing front row and I just could not stop crying. Like I was just in shambles, like deep. I just could not stop crying because I just, at the time I was 24 and I was like, bitch, I'm 24.
Period.
Like I'm literally 24.
Period.
So that was really, I think that was like one of my greatest moments that this past year, that whole week. And Tiffany knows it was a marathon. I was out every single day, Sunday to Sunday. My body was hurt.
Another club, bus, no sleep, however it goes.
It was to a point where I was like, I'm coming home at night to take a nap and then leaving to go back to Brooklyn. Like it was serious work, but extremely rewarding. And then I got hired at another job and I don't even want to say laid off. I was let go in a very like, I would call it violent, like a very violent way. It was like very vicious, very violent,
unprofessional,
very unprofessional to me.
Yeah, unprofessional.
And just the reasoning involved was contradictory to what was told to me in the beginning. And it was just giving, y'all didn't want me here from the jump. Started a job, 30 days later, it was over. So that was a moment that I don't think I fully processed yet because
it's recent too.
It's very recent and I have shit to do. Like, I mean, I have to
life goes on.
Life goes on. Like bills are still due.
Yeah.
I was still freelancing. So I was like, there's still other work to be done.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, okay. And then when they told me, I was like, thank you for your time. Like that was it. Just like, I'm not even gonna talk about it, but like, yeah, that was something that I was like, wow. I do think my 2-week reset going home helped out a lot. Like I went home for 2 weeks and just I went home in a one-way actually.
You
kept
need that
moving
sometimes.
my flight and kept moving my flight and kept moving my flight. And if I didn't have to come back for an event, I probably would have stayed another week and a half longer. And my mama loved having me at the house. So I was like, shit. I was driving their car, sleeping in their bed, wearing her clothes and eating their food. So I was like, I'll go back home, shoot. But and then to kind of like end what overall was a really successful year for me. When you guys hear this podcast, I will be in Ghana for a Dirty December.
Period.
I will be in Ghana. And I think that sums up like an amazing trip for an amazing year. Overall, like I think the hard moments were amplified, but overall, I would give this year like I've had some really major. I'm gonna give her a 9. I've had some really major. Tiffany, I moved out on my own. This is my first time in my own space.
Okay.
And then CultureCon happened. That week was major, and I was doing all the socials for a whole year.
Yes.
And then hit my savings goal.
Okay, you did.
I paid off my credit card, y'all.
Big accomplishment.
I paid off my credit card.
Period.
Honestly, that was the most important part. I paid off my credit card. I was able to meet other creatives. I feel like I'm with like my soul tribe now. Just very, just together with my soul tribe at the moment. I feel like I learned more about myself. And then I'm going on a major trip that I funded by myself that I've been putting money away for.
Period.
And pray I can get upgraded to at least a little, just like a little business class or something. Just a little something. I just want to lean back on the plane, just a little something. But regardless, I'm going and she's paid for. So, successful year to me.
Well, yes.
24 really did outdo my age of 24 and 2024. Really. She did what she needed to do. Oh, and now I have a career coach too. who has been helping me so much.
Shout
out him. Ever so gracious. I just wake up in the morning and call him, be like, "Hi Boogie, I have notes." So yeah, that was my year in review.
Okay, year in review.
Also, I'm stricter now too. Stricter.
I too am kind of gonna do like a blend of best moments / year in review. Obviously, as Chandler said, we started our podcast literally on my birthday, which to me, that's one of the greatest like career decisions I feel like we could have done.
That was such a nice moment.
That was such a that the day that we launched, first of all, we had a whole party over at Chandler's old apartment in Harlem, and just seeing like the excitement in our friends that came and were able to show up for us, like seeing the excitement of watching them watch the first episode air, because the day it aired we watched it all live together. That was such a special moment for me, and like I honestly didn't want to spend my birthday any other way. Literally, I was so fulfilled from that, and then all I did for my birthday, me and Chan just went to the spa, so 10s across the board.
Oh, we did do that.
Yes,
I forgot. We definitely, girl, we did so much this fucking year.
No, we like, and I will say this, like at the end, like this year was one of the best years of my life. Like truthfully,
she was good.
She was a good year.
She was good.
She was a good year. Moving along though, there was just a lot of career pivots for me. And even currently right now, there's like a huge career pivot. I also just think that I've kind of had to sit down with myself and think a lot about like what it is that I want out of this life and this career. Like I know exactly what my end goal is, but what is it that like right now, what am I supposed to be doing, right? But with that being said, this year I feel like I had the amazing opportunity to go to a lot of in real life events and partake in capturing content at places that I never thought I'd be able to. Like, for instance, I went out to LA for the very first time in my entire life, and I was sent out there.
Yes, they put your ass on a plane.
Shout out to Disney.
Yeah, they put her on a plane
because Disney invited me to come out as a representative on behalf of one of the media companies that I'm tied to come and capture, y'all, the most magical Black girl moment you could have ever think about. The Princess Tiana ride, the Tiana's Bayou Adventure ride that opened up in Disneyland. It actually opened up in Disney World in like June, July, but it just opened up in mid-November, and they invited me out to LA, and that was my very, very first time ever being out to the West Coast, which I always, like, growing up being a YouTube kid and a YouTube lover, I always was like, I want to go out to LA, da, 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 da. And I finally made it out to LA, and that trip, I was able to meet so many amazing Black creatives. The group that I was with, nobody was jealous of each other. Everybody was helping one another out, get content, and we all really just bonded. I got to meet other people who worked at Blavity, which was a really special moment for me. And I also got to meet the deputy director of Refinery 29 Unbothered. Shout out Kathleen. That girl will forever be my industry big sister. Like, she truthfully is just such a beautiful guiding light. So shout out to her if you're listening to this right now. But I mean, I also too was blessed enough to go to CultureCon and again represent Blavity. And that moment was such a huge moment for me because that was officially my first red carpet of this year. I've been to more since, but I will never forget that moment. I was able to really interview talent and capture so much fun content from that experience, and that really also connected me to a lot of different people in PR. The reason why I went to a screening 2 days ago was because I met somebody in PR from CultureCon. So I feel truly indebted to that week and that moment. I got to be able to like see my friends thrive. Like it truly, like, CultureCon was such a pivotal moment for me in my career. I'm like, there was so many great things that happened this year, but I feel like my career really was able to take off and thrive. Let me see what else. Cause I'm even looking at the content that we captured, girl. We had actually a lot of content just come out of this podcast.
Oh, we did a lot. And there was also a lot we didn't clip either.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of shit we just never got to. We also have an unreleased episode that I think we should just drop.
Yeah. I really want to.
I think we're just going to drop it. No visual, just straight audio.
Yeah.
We're just going to drop it. But it was good.
It was good.
It was really good. It's a Sir Davis review and other things.
amongst
other things.
But yeah, I would say like overall, this was a huge moment for my career. It allowed me to check off a lot of things that I had career goals surrounding for a couple of years now. So yeah, I would say like those were my best moments. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but those are moments that like truthfully I'll never forget. And so I think the biggest lesson though that I learned from this year is truly invest in yourself.
Yes. My 2025 motto is going to be stop investing in other people's passion projects and invest in yours.
Yes.
Because I feel like I've done amazing work over I feel like we've all both done amazing work over these past couple years, especially since we've graduated. Yeah. But it was always for other people's like passions. Right. And it's like we need to
start doing
there's other stuff we need to do for us. Yeah. So
I think that from like just the amount of career pivots I even had to do within this year, which sounds crazy, even though I had a lot of high moments, but also too, just based off of the election results, which we are going to talk about because it is in the script.
Let's talk about it.
So for today, we're really just going to stay and live in the pulse, our pop culture segment of the podcast. And clearly so much has happened since we all last talked.
Wait, oh my God, I want to add something.
Go ahead.
This, for my year in review, I almost forgot. This is actually my favorite part of this year.
Go ahead.
If you know me, you know what I'm about to say. I started my soul cycle journey.
Oh, yes.
How could I forget?
Call this bitch Mrs. Soul
How
Cycle.
could I forget? If Soul Cycle, if you want to sponsor me, please.
No, y'all need
me. Like I do free sponsorship literally on Instagram for y'all. I mean like free posts. I've converted so many people already. But what I will say is that I think my favorite like me moment this year that's not tied to anything professionally was being able to start Soul Cycle and get better at Soul Cycle and feel better cycling. Like,
and you've been committed.
I'm committed, girl. I go every week, and when I don't go every week, I feel off. Like my body just don't be feeling right. Like I just feel so off. I have to go. Like when I was in Florida for 2 weeks, love going home, but there's no Soul Cycle studio near my parents. Like the nearest one was probably like 2 or 3 hours away, and I was like, I can't drive 2-3 hours to go Soul Cycle for 45 minutes. If it was an hour, I probably would have did it, but it was 2-3 hours, and I was like, I can't justify that. And I didn't go to Soul Cycle for 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm off my game. I'm not feeling good, y'all. Like I'm not feeling well. But I think like shout out me and Yonsei. That is my cycle or die partner. Like we were truly in there every week, and even when we could not go together, we were still like, okay, like how did you like this instructor? Did you like this class? Where are we going next week? And we are closing out our last one of the year together. Well, it'll have happened by the time y'all hear this, but on Friday at 4 p.m. So tomorrow. We're doing our last one with shout out Tramel. That is the Soul Cycle senior master instructor. Okay. Okay. He don't play.
I feel like I know Tramel personally, and I don't.
Yes, we gets down. We don't play. And also for our last class, he said he was gonna play Balloon for me by nice. Tyler the Creator and Doechii. Because last week he was like, what do you want to hear? He was like, you've been here all the time. Like, what do you want to hear? And I was like, I really want to hear Balloon by Tyler. He said, I got you next week. I said, bet. So yeah, Balloon by Tyler and Doechii. That's my Christmas gift.
He should play Sticky too, though.
We already did it. Oh, girl, we already did it.
Excuse me.
He done played Luther.
It's Sticky. I know was in there talking about so. It's Sticky.
He done played Luther already. Okay. We did Man at the Garden. Like, no, he is on the pulse.
Doing the Kendrick.
He was really on the pulse. And so if you guys ever want to buy a gift for me, you know how much I racked up Soul Cycle gift cards at my birthday? Literally like racked Like I was like, I could do a money spread on my arm with the Soul Cycle gift cards.
If it's not Soul Cycle, don't
keep
give me
it.
No Christmas gift.
Keep it, literally keep it. I said, I just want Soul Cycle, and I love it. My mom was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I was like, "I want the Soul Cycle super pack, like the super pack, or some merch." I said, "So you got to let me know."
You do need some merch.
Oh, trust. That's gonna be my Christmas gift to myself. I'm gonna get some merch. I got a gift card in there, and I'm gonna get them Lululemon leggings. Ooh. Okay, listen, we can move on now.
If anybody listening to this, family, I need a couch. Send me some funds.
I'm crying. Girl, you need to get on Marketplace. This couch is Marketplace.
No, and this couch is nice. And you know what? I need to get a velvet couch because Luna's hair, it like comes up very easily.
Oh,
on this type of fabric. I've noticed.
This is a custom Road Concepts in blue velvet. And I got it. I was on Facebook Marketplace and it was like listed for maybe $800, $850, but she was like, it's Rove Concepts. And I was like, bitch, Rove Concepts, for those that don't know, Rove Concepts is a couch brand, but their starting price per piece is like $5,000.
Yep, no.
So I was like, either this is a fake or something's wrong with it. So I reached out to her. Yeah. And also, I didn't measure anything. I was like, I'm just going to get it and pray for the best. But everybody was like, you shouldn't spend almost $1,000 on a used couch. But I was like, no, y'all, this is not just any used couch. This is a Rove Concepts.
And even if it's not, it's a very nice couch.
It's a very nice couch. So I walk into the lady's apartment. Her apartment was nice as fuck. Me and Sheila pulled up with that U-Haul at 7 in the morning and pulled up with the U-Haul to her apartment. And we had our little wheelie thing and we took the apartment and she gave me authentication for the couch. This color is not even on the website. I don't even think they make this anymore, and this couch is like almost $10,000. And she was like, I only had it for a couple months. She was like, we travel all the time. Then she was like, my sister got me a new couch or else we wanted to keep this, but she was like, I wanted it to go to somebody that's really gonna love the couch and not want to resell it for a top dollar. I said, oh no, girl, I love this. And y'all, this couch is so comfortable. I'd be sleep on here.
You should have sent her the podcast. You'd be like, girl, you honestly, can see the couch.
I tried to go find her back on Facebook a couple months ago to really be like, thank you. Like, I love the couch so much. Yeah. But I think because it hit sold, I couldn't find her anymore. But I wanted to send her. Just wanted to be like, a thank you, girl. Like, this couch is getting loved on. But girl, I'd be sleep on here. I'd be watching TV on here. Like, this is nice. Like, this couch is coming with me anywhere I go. If I move to Europe, we putting this couch on the plane, bitch. On the plane,
right? You and the couch.
Literally, like, put me in the cargo with the couch. I don't care.
Cannot. All right. Well.
Okay, election. I just had to do that. No, brief intermission.
I mean, because it's more than election. Like, we're really gonna speak on the election, but since we last talked, so much has happened. Okay, we are talking about the VMAs, Wicked, the election.
Defying gravity.
Okay, Cynthia, are you holding space? Where's your nail?
Holding space.
And you got the green nails.
I do. I have the Wicked nails.
For the Alpha Buzz.
We're holding. We really wanted to hold space for queer media.
Yes.
And hold space for defying gravity.
I be forgetting Cynthia Erivo is British every time she opened her mouth. I'm like, what? You're British? Okay, sister.
Literally. But I gotta give her tens for Wicked though, but we'll get into that.
Yes. So Wicked, the election, updates on the TikTok band show, and anything I'm missing that we missed since we were last year? I'm like, anything monumental.
Do we want to talk about Luigi?
Oh yes, and the man who has just been convicted for the murder of the United Healthcare CEO,
Brian Thompson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Luigi Maggioni. That's how you say his name.
We could touch on it.
Okay.
In the symbolism of it.
But out of all those things we missed, I just want to hear. Okay, first and foremost, let's just talk about it. The election. What? Well, okay. First of all, let's get how you felt on the day that November 5th, and then your feelings immediately once the results were called in.
So for those that don't know, my birthday is November 5th. So I woke up just with a sense of gratitude. I felt very happy. I also was excited because I got to wake up. It was my birthday and vote for not only a Black woman, but my soror and a graduate of Howard University.
HU.
You know.
Period.
You already motherfucking know. Like, I just don't. That to me was like, wow. And also, I was talking about some of this with my friends. Like, I feel like this feels more symbolic to me than when Obama came through because I think, and not playing like the who's blacker card, but Kamala's experiences more aligned with that of a Black American.
Okay.
Like the HBCU, the Greek, like the D9 of it all, the HBCU.
You as a Black American, because...
Well, I feel like, but a lot of, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but like a lot of Obama's experiences, like he was raised by a white woman in Hawaii and then went to Princeton.
It's very
Columbia.
unique.
Yeah, it was very like different, but I think Vice President Kamala Harris's experiences are so very distinctly
Black.
Black.
It's more aligned with the majority of probably like the Black experience.
Maybe not even the majority. It's just you could look at that and go like, that is a Black woman.
But for some reason, some of y'all still don't believe that she's Black.
And I don't even want to talk about that because the ignorance in the air, like I don't want to catch stupid.
Ooh.
You know, it's a disease and it's very catching. It's very catching.
Not catch stupid.
It's very catching and I don't want that. Like it's very catching.
It's not catching over here though.
But that moment was, I was like, wow, like I just feel really good today. Also, she ran a phenomenal campaign.
A tight ship.
A crazy campaign that I was like, it almost had me thinking
they
a
pulled out
little
all
bit.
The stops.
I was like, do I want to go
into
politics?
Beyonce.
I really was like, do I want to go into political communications because of how she ran? That's how I felt.
A pause for her social media team.
Kamala HQ?
Woo!
Yeah.
Kamala HQ.
That
social team claps. Round of applause. Oh, an award needed. A streamy needed.
Kamala HQ went in and clocked to work. I mean, clocked in and went to work.
Right, went to work. No, she definitely had not only just Gen Z representation, but a very vast representation on her team because they quite literally covered every pop culture moment that scratched the surface and somehow made Kamala partake in that. Yes,
they did everything. As far as when the election was happening,
yeah, how did you feel?
I think that night I was in a state of shock. But when it all comes down to it, now that after it settled for the next couple days, I was like, I'm not really surprised. And let me tell you why. Right. And I talked about this on TikTok. Our country, specifically Gen Z and millennial men, are extremely right-leaning. Like Black men included. Are extremely right-leaning and extremely conservative. Now, did Black men show up and show out for the polls? They did. I think it was like 80%, and Black women voted 97%, so nobody could look at us.
Right.
But that's beside the point. We are so conservative-leaning due to like the Charlie Kirks of the world, the Fresh and Fits, just all this media. And one, I blame the media first and foremost because everything is behind a paywall. Now, there are other websites you can go to, but like the average person is not doing that. Yeah. And also just like this conservative red pill type content, that's propaganda even, and is being pushed, is very accessible. And very easy to find. Like,
and it's being pushed.
Quite
literally to you. Like if you go on X,
yeah, it's everywhere. So people are falling susceptible to that. Also, on the other end, I think a lot of people, when these polls come out and whatnot, a lot of people forget about the silent majority. So they're in there kikiing with their friends. I'm so liberal.
Quite literally saying they're going to vote for Kamala Harris.
And getting in that booth and doing opposite.
Complete opposite.
So when my exact thoughts when those numbers came out, I was like, some of y'all are lying.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, actually, it's a lot of y'all. Because the difference was insane.
Nasty word.
And
quite
Kamala is one of the most qualified candidates we've ever had.
In comparison to other presidents, the
most
her
qualified
track record, her resume is one of the. It is the best.
It is the best. It is the best. She was the DA. She was the Attorney General. Like, I'm sorry, she wasn't the DA. She was the Attorney General. She was was she a senator?
Yes.
No. Yeah.
Of California.
Yeah. Like, my girl, bitch. Whatever. I'm gonna end my thoughts there because I just feel like I don't really have nothing good to say.
She was a prosecutor, attorney general, a senator.
She's only worked in public service.
Quite literally.
She's only worked in public service. So I'm just
and
like,
that goes all the way back to her career at Howard.
Yes.
So
my sister was on the board at Howard University. Not the board.
Student government.
The e-board, like the student government. So yeah whatever. Whatever.
So let me take y'all back to the night of the election. I thought to calm my nerves, it would be a really good idea to do some CBD, THC,
not good
oil. Wow, was that a terrible decision? I thought it would calm my nerves, and quite literally, as the election results were coming in, it was making my high worse. Like, I remember I called my cousin. Now, I don't know if my parents know this because I was at home during the election, but I remember I called my cousin and I was
Ariel.
like, yes, Ariel. And I was like, I can't hold you. I am a little bit way over the under the influence line, and I'm getting extremely paranoid by these results. And you want to know what her response was? She goes, girl, I'm on Trump's page right now looking to see what mutuals we have so I can unfollow.
Oh, I did that. I blocked a lot of people.
When she said that,
I blocked a lot of
I
people.
did the exact same thing. I was just like, and when I got up on there and saw some of y'all names, I said,
yeah. Yeah, I saw way too many.
I said, oh, you.
And there were also a few people that didn't talk about the election at all. And now, mind you, these were a lot of people I went to high school with that I honestly even forgot I followed. But there were people that didn't talk about the election at all. And then all of a sudden that next morning, it was MAGA. No, Blocka.
Spooky.
No, very spooky. Very, very spooky. Very, very spooky.
So yeah, that was the night of the election. And then I woke up with a beaming migraine. I called out of work because I was like, how do I operate? And I remember I posted a TikTok and I said, don't ask me and Black women for another motherfucking thing. And I meant that, and it went viral. So hey, something great came out of the election. No, but truthfully, like, I think, like, and this goes back to the lesson that I learned this year, like, I am only moving forward. I'm only going to be investing and protecting myself and my community and all of the things that I'm going to do. My purpose, the way that I walk in life, is going to be for me and Black women. And that's just...
And that's it.
That's it. That's all.
And that's where we close the door.
Yeah. So,
that's
anything
all
else?
Nope, that's all I have to say on that.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to a lighter note. Let's get back into the best of 2024. So our first category is going to be, what was the best song that came out this year?
So... in the beginning of the year, like throughout the year, I was saying Safer by Tyler. That was my jam. But then Kendrick dropped music.
Ooh, Gina.
And I was like... Well, Kendrick dropped music a couple times, actually.
He did, right. Because let's not forget the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef that happened
so I was saying then Not Like Us for a hot minute.
Everybody say OVO.
And then I got off of a plane for the Thanksgiving holiday and GNX was just on all platforms. And it's really now between, at the end of the year, I could say it's between Luther and Gloria off GNX.
If this world was mine,
Roman number 7, baby, drop it
Like it's hot.
If this world was mine, I'd take it and make them multiply. If this world was mine, yeah.
Hey,
that Luther sample.
Yeah.
That I think between that, but I also think hot take, Gloria might be better. Good album
I think
closer
it's a really
with SZA.
good album.
It is a phenomenal, and
really
then Dodger album. Blue at a very, very close third. But then you also have the Heart Part 6.
The Heart Part 6.
You got Whacked Out Murals.
Yeah. Actually, the whole album.
Wobble Up. Yeah, the whole album. But I think my favorite songs, my 2024 songs are between Luther and Gloria. Both with SZA. Shout out her.
SZA.
Shout out her.
Mine has to be the Nissan Altimas by Le Dolcias.
Put the motherfucking money in my motherfucking hand. I'm like, go cheat my money. Do I love it? Do I hate it? I don't really give a damn. I don't really give a fuck. Long as you bitches know what's up. Big Dolce, bitch, DOE, da da da, bitch. You know this me.
Let me tell you one thing about that Dolciana.
Yeah.
If she don't get that fucking Grammy.
Oh no, she's getting it.
If she don't get that Grammy, the TV will get flung across the wall.
I also think we should take a moment to acknowledge TDE. The way they're pushing her has been phenomenal. Like, she's having a crazy... You're like, I've always liked Dolce, but January, I would have never thought Dolce would be where she's at today. And that mixtape, it wasn't even an album, that mixtape, bitch, was crazy.
Yes. The album Alligator Bites Never Heal, this really, I felt like this particular album is what really presented who Dolce is to the world.
Yes. And but it wasn't an album, it was a mixtape.
I thought it was considered a studio album.
It's a mixtape.
The Project.
The studio album drops next year. The project. Yeah, The Project. Really, The Project.
The Project is so well done. The Project gave influences of Kendrick. It gave influences of early on Kanye. The skits, the talking to your inner conscious, like Dolce is a wizard. A word wizard, a double entendre warrior, like, you know, like when there's people whose brains just run on 10,000, you can tell like she was born for this. Yeah. Like she's like, and in the best way possible. I saw someone else say this on, like, either it was on a different podcast or somewhere on social media, but they were just like, she's a fucking freak. Yeah. And in like the best way possible, she's a freak. Like, I would love to just sit in her mind for like 10 minutes and see how it churns, because the level of talent is otherworldly, and Kendrick Lamar did not miss it when he said that he thinks that she is the best rapper right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. And
she can freestyle too. A lot of rappers now cannot freestyle.
Well, most of that project, it came from freestyles.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's a mixtape.
So, yes. And so, I don't know. Just she's just in a category of her own. That's all I can say, because there's I can't even be like her and female rap and her versus male rap. Like, she's just Dolce.
She's just Dolce. Jayla Hick. She's just Jayla Hick.
Also, I love Nissan Ultima down because of the fact that I did show some love on social media to that song, and she did comment on my post. She said she saw me. Dolce saw me. Dolce knows me personally. She actually she contacts me on the frequent.
I'm weak.
Well, yes. Okay, so with that being said, since we talked about projects, let's talk about the best album of 2024.
So I started out with a bang in March of 2024 with Tyla's album, Tyla.
Yes.
It came out while I was in Paris, and the plays that album got was actually like disrespectful, like through the roof. That was the only thing I listened to for weeks.
Yes.
And then Cowboy Carter dropped. Loved Cowboy Carter, but I was still coming back to Tyla. And then Short and Sweet dropped, and that was just a really good fucking pop album. Like, Like Sabrina was really in the lab with that one. Amazing flow, amazing structure, like really was in the studio popping her shit. And then Alligator Bites Never Heal came out. I said, bitch, that's the one. And then obviously GNX came out. I think GNX was great, but I think the album that had the most like
drum roll please
pull on me, Chromacopia, Tyler the Creator.
Yes,
I gotta give it to him. It was that album was it told a story. The music was musicking. Like I think when people have conversations about best rappers, for some reason, a lot of people just be forgetting about Tyler. But if you did not believe another freak. But if you did not believe he was top 10, I'm sorry, top 3 currently out right now, then you're wrong. And I think this album really solidified it for him. I was never like a Tyler stan. When the music would come out, I would listen. I'd be like, oh, this is cool. I like it.
Right.
But I think this was the first time that I was like, okay, I'm going to listen and do whatever. I was sold with Chromacopia. So I'm gonna give Chromacopia the 2024 creds. With Tyler as a close second.
Okay.
But I'm Afro beats down, y'all.
Okay, so for me, y'all, I was torn with this one, which is like crazy to think, but kind of like Chandler, just so much great music came out this year. Like, fuck. Like, what can I say? So honestly,
no, the girls got into the studio and changed lives.
Okay.
Their label said you will get fired. Rent was due.
The rent was due. Okay, people had things to fucking say on that mic. When just like Chandler, when Cowboy Carter came out, I was locked the fuck in, listening to that album from top to bottom. No
baby,
I've been waiting my whole life
for you and I, baby. I've been waiting.
I'm gonna give you the best of me.
That is two hands to heaven. Is the that is the first cousin of Dance for You. The first cousin, like
that's
besties.
The first cousin.
Yes, very much. That is my auntie's child.
That week.
Yup.
So yeah, that album.
Ooh, she put her pussy in that album.
Throughout this entire year had me in a chokehold. And then Sabrina Carpenter. God damn it. When I tell y'all,
boy, it's not that complicated. You should stay in my good graces. Switch it up like that, so fast,
what?
So much more amazing. From turning loving into hatred, boy, it's not that. Yeah.
Miss Poppyana herself. And let me just say this, because I said this on the mic that last time we talked about Sabrina Carpenter. She is on her way to be this generation's version of Britney Spears.
Okay, so when we had that conversation, that was pretty short and sweet.
It was.
That was pretty short and sweet. But also, I don't even want to say this generation's Britney. I think she's going to be a completely different star, and I think she might be bigger.
Fair. It's just in terms of like when I think of the greatest pop stars.
Oh, yes. Oh, she's going to be considered the greatest. That nonsense Christmas special.
Oh, that sealed the deal.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, my biggest regret this year was not going to that short and sweet tour. Oh.
The tickets were insane. Because I looked on a couple occasions. The tickets were crazy. Too,
and I'm like, why did I not ask you if you wanted to go? I sort of got to reach out to everybody in my goddamn contacts.
You know I would have went.
This. And I don't know.
If you just don't fuck with me, I feel like you should just say that.
Okay, bitch.
Just if you don't want to be my friend, if you don't like me, I think you should just say that. Like, you just come out with it like it's fine.
Right.
We can move forward. Right. But I just think you should be honest. Right. So let me know right now. We'll hold space for that.
Right. Well, what is the tea? What is the drama?
We'll hold space.
And then again, Miss Dochiana's like, she really just pulled on a nostalgic moment.
What's your favorite song off that album? Mine is Slide.
That is a good song.
And then Profit is right after.
That's the whole album's good. I like Catfish. Denial is a river.
Your man is gay.
Honestly, I just love Doechii so bad. It's her speaking in tongues on that album. It's everything. Like, bitch, everything. Like,
yeah.
But when it came down to it, and when I looked at my Apple replay, I got to give it to the Beyonce. The cowboy of the Carters.
That's real.
The cowboy of the Carters. And something about what
What's
I hear...
your favorite song of that album?
It changes all the time, but when I think of that album, and maybe because it's the first song, but there's something inside of this specific song that just feels like Black people overcoming, and I feel the pain in it. American Requiem.
American Requiem.
The benefits.
Yeah.
And bury him.
Yeah. Amen.
Like, that choir.
Yeah.
Something is in the sounds and the depths and the neurons of that choir's vocal abilities. I don't know what it is.
Honestly, the back half of the album runs like one song.
It does.
But I would have to say my favorite. When I Want to Get Lit, Tyrant.
Oh, she's a tyrant.
Every time I ride it, every time I ride it, make it look so good.
Shout out to Rana Roberts.
But I will say my fave.
And Tierra.
Two Hands to Heaven.
Two hands to heaven, I break brains, forgive my soul. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next category. Best TV show, non-reality, non-docu-series based.
Industry.
Okay.
And then I wanted to say The Bear, but the season 3 just didn't move me. I wasn't moved.
Okay.
I was moved. Oh, I feel like we can't talk about this here without talking about Abbott Elementary.
Yes. But Abbott's just great year after year.
Abbott is great year after year, but like, y'all know I'm really into a good drama. Like, bring the drama. Industry.
Okay. So Industry's the final boss.
Industry is the final boss.
Okay.
But I feel like there wasn't a lot of good scripted TV this year. Like, I was rewatching a lot of stuff. Like, I rewatched The Morning Show. I rewatched all of Power.
Insecure.
I rewatched. That's old news, y'all. That's old news. I literally go to sleep to Insecure.
She loves
Insecure. I do. My favorite episode of TV ever of all time, season 4, episode 8, Low Key Happy. The scene opens up. Lawrence is sitting at a bar in LA, and he eats an Altoid and he chokes a little bit and throws the Altoid back up, and he tries to play it off like nothing happens. Then Issa comes in a V-neck vest with her shoulders out, very cute, her hair pulled back a little bit, and she sees him. She puts her hand up a little bit. She walks towards him. She falls on her face. The whole bar goes, ooh. Then the scene credits open up. Clink, clink, clink. Oh God! Impact Nova. It's a thing. Bing, bing. Lawrence gets up out his chair. He walks over to Issa. He gets down on the floor. He says, "You gonna need a minute?" She said, "Yup." He goes back to his chair. Issa gets up. As she stands up, these girls push past her. They say, "Ooh, be blessed, sis." Issa goes to sit down. They start talking. They start catching up. And then they start playing Lizzo loud as hell in the bar. And they can't hear each other. And then this man comes through in between them and tries to order a drink at the bar. And Issa and Lawrence are like, "Don't you see us sitting here?" Da 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 da. And then so Lawrence was like, "Yeah, let's go somewhere else and let's get the check." And then Lawrence asked for the check. And the bartender is like, "The manager said it's on us because you busted your ass."
Is crazy.
And then so then Issa was like, "I thought everybody forgot about that." And Lawrence was like, "Nobody forgot about that." So then they go outside and I'm telling y'all.
It's the fact that the episode was just playing before we put this podcast
Sure was. I could literally recite that entire episode, that whole 28 minutes.
Well, we just watched you do it.
I mean, I could keep going. Would you like me to?
No,
Okay.
because so industry.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, kind of similar to Chandler, like, I just didn't think there was a lot of great scripted series this year. But what recently came out that just I've watched twice now, Coleman Domingo's The Madness. Have you watched it yet?
You know, it came up in my recommended.
You must.
Okay, maybe I'll tap in.
You must. First of all, this series couldn't have came out at a better time. It basically, so Coleman Domingo's like the main character of the show, and he's basically this CNN like host. Has his own like show part-time.
Oh my God.
From my understanding.
Interview with the Vampire.
I
forgot.
That's also a very good show.
I was
Wait, let me finish mine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And then you
go
can
ahead.
go back to that.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So basically he like hosts his own show on CNN, and he ends up taking a break from his show just to like write a book. And when he takes his break, he goes out into the Poconos for vacation. And as he's like just getting used to his environment, he's out for a run, he bumps into his neighbor, who is this white man that's giving very much seedy energy. And so, you know, it's very much like Coleman Domingo's like, I don't know if I can really trust this guy. Now, Coleman Domingo's character is Muncie Daniels in this. So Muncie's just like, he could tell something's off about this guy, but like the guy's being friendly to him, whatever. He's like, you know, if you ever need anything, just come, you know, by my house and like let me know. So at one point, while he's out in the Poconos, his electricity goes out. He tries to figure it out on his own.
The Poconos is not the place you want to be with no power.
Not as a black person.
Not at all.
Certainly. So he goes over to the neighbor's house, and he knocks on the door. Mind you, the car is there, so he knows the guy's there. And there's nobody answering the door. He looks in the windows. He doesn't see the guy anywhere. So he's looking around the property, and he sees that there's a sauna. So he goes to the sauna. Now, the sauna door is cracked open. He opens the sauna door, and this white man is in there, and his body is chopped up into pieces.
I don't think I want to watch that.
Just wait. Just wait. So he immediately backs it from the sauna, looking to his left, looking to his right. And there are these white men in all black with black masks on, and they start chasing him. They got my nigga Coleman running like a runaway slave.
Is this a racial show? You know, I don't be doing well with the race
It
shit.
is.
Okay, I won't be watching that.
You'll have to, Chandler.
No.
Just stay with me.
I don't do well with it.
Basically,
is this the plot, or are you just giving like?
This is the intro. I'm about to give you the plot now.
Okay.
Basically, they try to pin the murder on Coleman Domingo, but Coleman Domingo fights back, and he realizes through his like process of trying to clear his name is that white supremacy runs from the bottom to the top of the chain. So the white man
we don't need a TV show to tell us that.
Just listen to me.
I am listening.
His next door neighbor was a high profile white supremacist.
That was a guy with his body chopped up?
Yes, who said you could come over to my house if you ever need anything. A high
I won't be watching
profile that. And you should.
I won't be watching that.
Needless to say, as he gets roadblocks from the police, obviously, roadblocks from the FBI, obviously, finally gets to the top of the chain, and I won't spoil it, but basically in sum, white supremacy is king in this country and it rules, and this show couldn't have came out at a better time than right now ahead of this Trump presidency, because I think it puts into perspective how as black people, it doesn't matter if you're a public figure, if you're a celebrity, if they catch your black ass near a crime scene, they gonna pin it on you.
Yeah, I won't be watching that. I don't do well with race shows. I don't like them. Like, I tried to watch Them by Lena Waithe, and that was just too much for me. I don't do it. I won't be doing it. So yeah, but I trust you with you saying it was good. I just have a personal preference, and I will not start now. Interview with the Vampire.
A very good show. And a book.
I was sitting here earlier, and as I was like filling out our little like script, I was just, when I was getting to this portion, I was like, Tiffany, I feel like there was a show I was telling everybody to watch this year, and I just could not remember what the fuck it was.
I didn't know what show you were talking about because I was watching it by the time you were watching it, remember?
Yes, but I was telling everybody else to watch it this year. I was like really advocating for the show, but
it's a very good
Interview
show.
with the Vampire.
Very good
show. I don't know if they got nominated for anything, like any Emmys or Golden Globes. Well, I guess those nominations didn't go out yet, but oh no, they did.
Yeah, they did.
They got snubbed, but the first season's on Netflix. In the second season, I got an AMC Plus subscription just so I could watch it.
And it's a book. So.
It's a book too, which I also might read. But
yeah, my sister's reading them.
Let us move on to the best reality TV series.
Yes, go ahead, sister.
So I culturally Love Island USA.
Okay.
Drama wise,
All right.
Real Houses of Salt Lake City.
Well, yes.
But I feel like both have to be mentioned.
Yes, I agree.
I think Salt Lake City is entering, I don't know how the fuck they did it, but like I've been watching them from season 1. They've had like bombshell really stuff. Yeah. They've had bombshell things happen each season.
Criminally.
And I thought it would never get better than Jen Shaw getting raided by the FBI on the show.
Which is not a good thing, but she's talking
about like drama. They know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Getting raided on the show. And then they had a catfish infiltrate the fan group. I mean the friend group that and had a private account that was like
Reality
stealing on all of their Reality Von Teese. That was crazy. And then this season, like Mary's son is having addiction troubles, and then Bronwyn, her husband, who cheated on her, who is the founder of the BlackBerry, like created the BlackBerry, like, and it. Oh my God, like it's absolutely insane. So culturally, Serena, Leah, Janae, Cordell, Miguel, and Kenny, they really made their mark. But I think overall, and just like this is why we watch reality TV.
Yeah.
Real House of Salt Lake City. They're moving into their like kind of like how Real Housewives of Atlanta had their prime seasons.
Yes,
they're
I agree.
Dead in the center of it right now.
I agree.
So I have to give credit where credit is due. And we're not even halfway through the season yet.
We're not. I will
like
also
episode 6.
say Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is picking up for me this year.
It's picking up, but it's not picking up in the way that Salt Lake City is. But I love Beverly Hills.
I feel like
down.
Salt Lake City though, like each season individually is really good.
Yeah, it's
like
a standout.
I don't think it's had.
Season.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever had a bad season. Like there was one season, I forget what season. It was just like okay.
It might have been the first one because their first one was very like it was alright. It was a good opener, but
it was a good opener. But in terms of the rest of the seasons, it was
exactly.
Yeah.
But you needed that for the background.
I mean, also too, like it was their first fucking season. But I have to say, for me personally, I will have to say it was Love Island USA. That show, I was so invested. If you followed me and Chan, we used to host our nightly Love Island USA recaps. Shout out to Felice. Shout out to Paris.
What were we calling it? The Black
After Sun.
Yeah, Black After Sun. Black After Sun.
Okay,
She will be back next summer.
We'll be back every summer as long as the season's good. But we not only, that was another career moment that
we were on live every day.
Every day. And had a returner.
Yeah, we had audience. We had audience.
We had on average like 200 people.
Yeah, every night.
But there was times when we had more than 200. There was a night that we had KK come on.
Yes, we were getting
forget. Like
we were getting. If y'all weren't there, I'm so sorry. I'm so
you
sorry.
just had to be there.
But we were like having Love Island exclusives on the fucking live, like to the point where everybody was in the chat like, yo. Like when KK came on and was giving us like never heard before like Love Island tea, like I was like, damn. It was a moment. That was honestly, I forgot that we did that. And I also think
I forgot we did that
for
too,
us
for
to be doing that. I will say I knew Love Island was a poppin' show. So for those that are not familiar with Love Island USA, Love Island comes on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the After Sun is Saturday, and you get Sunday off. So the show comes on damn near every day week. Yeah. I knew that show was serious when all of my friends and everybody I knew on like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. This season in particular, people were not going out.
Yeah, they were
people were like
people
in the summertime
hosting watch parties.
Yes, like in the summertime, people were like, "I'm not going out. I gotta watch Love Island."
It honestly saved me money.
Oh yes, I've never spent more Fridays in the summer in the house. Because I was like, oh, I have to go watch Love Island. Then we're getting on live.
Yeah. No, exactly. And it was just like, I will say, I've watched Love Island for years, both US, UK, and I've dabbled in some other franchises. But I've always loved Love Island UK over USA. But this Love Island USA, I don't know,
the casting director needs a raise.
Really, really fucking took it there. Between the Tyler Perry that we got from Serena and Cordell to just the
doc scene. I will say, I think the turning point was people saw, because Love Island USA was not that popular. It had it was enough to renew it, but
not
it was
in the same way of UK.
Exactly. Because Love Island USA started on CBS. They did 2 seasons and then it wasn't doing that well in ratings, so they dropped it. Peacock picked it up and it was only on streaming.
Yeah.
And then the first couple seasons it was on Peacock. Everybody was like, okay, it was very niche. A lot of people weren't watching.
You
it was
only know it if you're in the Love Island.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think when the doc scene of Serena and Cordell arguing went viral, everybody was like,
in a lot of viewers.
Everybody, especially black viewers too.
Specifically, yeah.
Everybody was like, what show is this? They were like, what the fuck is going on right now? And I think that was the turning point.
Straight men were like, hold the fuck on.
Yes.
If you went on TikTok, you would see, there would even be like white men, and there was this one white creator, and him and his bros all came over.
Yeah, was it was it Broth Bros? Because they have the podcast, the Broth Bros.
No. They didn't even watch reality TV. This was the only show they've ever watched. And they were just straight up like white guys who just just did white guy things. And one of them watched it, and he convinced all of his friends to watch it, and they started like watching it all together. And it's just so crazy because, like, truthfully, like, when you thought of Love Island, you always thought of Love Island UK, and you always thought of Molly May as someone who really figured out how to properly pivot from, like, being on reality TV to becoming this top-tier influencer and having garnered a very like loyal audience, whereas now, like, you're seeing Janae, you're seeing Leah, you're seeing Serena pull in brand deals, create brands of their own. Like, I just, like, it's crazy. They're really having, like, a really well done, like, the fact that Cordell had his Warby Parker, his whole Cheez-It brand deal thing, that he basically manifested.
Officer.
He basically manifested on the show. And, like, them getting deals with Google. Like, it's just crazy.
That shit was crazy. I don't know what was, because I don't know. Like, I don't know what Peacock did, but that show really... I think the sad part is, not sad part, but like the crazy part is next year, people are going to try to recreate it and they're not going to be able to.
And they're going to fuck it
And it's like, I don't think it's going to be good next year. I think we just got our one and done.
I'm going to be Janae, or I'm going to be
or they're going to try to start arguing with their man.
Like,
I think what happened was like, it was just real. Like, it was so real. You could honestly even tell at some point, everybody became unaware of the cameras. Just kind of like they forgot that they were there.
Yeah.
Versus in the other seasons, everybody is hyper aware that they're being filmed.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can move on. But that was a moment. That was a moment.
Okay, best docuseries.
I'm gonna go with Sprint.
Okay.
I think Sprint, at least the part 1, Sprint was really, really good. Like,
yeah, it was.
Sprint was really, really good. And then Simone Biles Rising, I liked, but it didn't give me enough.
Okay.
It was just kind of like, okay. Like, I felt like I didn't really learn a lot about Simone. I didn't learn any new information. Like, I think I learned a lot about her practice process, but I feel like that's not anything she hasn't talked about in interviews before. It was just like, okay to me.
I feel like
I wasn't moved.
I feel like, so for me, I feel like this was definitely the year of sports docuseries for sure. Like, a lot of
like
great
Receiver.
ones came out. That, like, I loved Sprint. I love Simone Biles Rising. And I love Starting Five. Now, I will say about Simone Biles Rising, I did grow an appreciation for her relationship. I do think that, like, after seeing that podcast come out and, like, just being so taken back, I do think seeing that docuseries allowed me to be like, okay, I can kind of, like, calm down a little bit about this relationship, because I do see the way that, like, he does love her. And I could not see, I promise you, I could not see it before I saw that documentary.
I just think,
go ahead.
I have no doubt that he loves and supports her, especially after the docuseries and like seeing how he was acting at the Olympics.
But I needed that docuseries to really like understand the relationship, because I like, before that, I was like,
I just think with the podcast of it all, even if I feel like as an athlete, like an athlete at his level, whether you're dating Simone Biles or not, you should be embarrassed to say you don't know Simone.
Yeah,
and I feel like that
should
should just be from an athlete standpoint, because it's like, she
and
is one of the greatest, and I think he lied as well. And it's like, imagine lying on your wife. And I think, I don't know, like maybe I was raised differently, but like the man is, I'm trying to keep my words.
Yeah.
But I just feel like if you are dating such a boss or married to a boss, and that said boss woman, boss bitch, chooses you, that's a good reflection on you. So it's just kind of like, yes, my wife is Simone Biles, and what about it? So I was very confused when he sat up in there. He was like, man, I didn't even know who she was. And on top of that, had her drive an hour to their first link up during COVID. I thought that was crazy too. I was like,
we don't need to get into the details of that, but it's just more of like, there's definitely that came out of that podcast and that situation where people were just like, now come on.
And that was how I felt, and I felt like it was embarrassing to her, where I just think that it was something they just should have never spoken on in
but
general.
That wasn't her fault. He spoke.
No. I'm saying like they, as in him and the other podcasters, like the I Am Athlete podcast.
I would have told him to pull that shit out.
I agree. Like, I think they would have had enough weight to be like, cut this portion.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he should have ever said it. It's not Simone's fault, but he should have never said it.
But out of all of those options I just talked about, I will have to say my favorite docuseries is Where's Wendy Williams? And the reason why that one was so special to me was because, first of all, it just made me emotional. Like, I like to understand the impact that Wendy Williams truly had, and to see the condition that she is in now. It hurts. It hurts. And I'm just thinking about, like, right now, like, if she was on her show right now, like, she really would be airing out a lot of things that are going on right now in the news. And bring light and shed light to a lot of things that, like, she had been talking about for years. And I don't know. It's just like, I hate to see her in the position that she was in that documentary, but it allowed me to feel like, as a viewer, as you know, someone who grew up and like saw the impact that she had on the industry, like, it just made me appreciate that, like, we at least had that. And like, all I could do was like hope for the betterment and the healing of her. And even like, it was crazy because a couple weeks ago, her conservator had said she was completely incapacitated, but then I saw literally like a couple of days ago that she was not out and about, but like,
there's just a differing in information.
Yeah.
In regards to like what is really going on.
Yeah.
And also, we know that conservatorship gets sticky. Like, they tried to put Kanye in a conservatorship.
Yeah.
Britney's in one. It's other celebrities that are in one. And it's just
she no longer is in one, but she was.
Well, yeah, she was in one. But yeah, no, the conservatorship shit is like.
Yeah. But it looks like right now, from that last video that was just put out of her, it looks like she is with family, which makes me feel a little bit better. So, yeah, so I would say that was my favorite docu-series of this year. And now let's move into best movie.
So, I don't really know if this counts, but this past December was the 10-year anniversary of Interstellar. So for the past 2 weeks, they re-released it in IMAX and in 70 millimeter in participating IMAX theaters in like New York, LA, and a couple other places in the US. So if this counts, I'm gonna give it to Interstellar 10-year anniversary in IMAX. Because the first time I watched it was like just on a TV, like in my friend's living room. Right. But like seeing that in IMAX 70 millimeter with like the fucking surround sound was like, woof. And I saw it twice. Like, I saw it in regular IMAX, and then I went to go see it in 70 millimeter, and I was like, damn, bitch. I was like, this. Wow, I was like, so that was really a moment. But on the off chance that doesn't count, I gotta give it to Challengers.
Okay.
I gotta give it to Challengers. Well, we get in a close second. Like, I thought Wicked was good. I'm not really a fan of musicals, but I enjoyed it. I even downloaded the Wicked soundtrack, so that's how much I knew I enjoyed it. But I think overall, storyline, complexity, depth of characters, redemption, rooting for the villain, just over like intensity, challengers. That was like phenomenal film. That was like a really, really phenomenal film. So I gotta give it to them.
I will say, if you would have asked me before November what my favorite movie was this year or the best movie of 2024, I would have said Challengers. I will never forget when I, for one, dressed up in my cute little tennis outfit and snuck in a bottle of Pinot Noir.
I'm weak.
Into the theater. And I popped it open. I started drinking my little drink, and suddenly my legs were crossed. I said, oh my God. That movie put me in heat.
Yes, it was very hot.
I was like, oh my God.
Yes, no, the movie, and I saw the movie twice, and I was like, woo!
No, I'll never forget, because I called my mom after. I said, girl, I was just like, you gonna have to watch that movie, but I'm gonna just let you know right now. I was just like, it was woo.
I saw it the first time. I was at a screening, so I saw it at a private screening the first time, and the second time I saw it, I was on a date.
That was not a good decision.
And I was on a date, and I was like, oof.
Glasses started fogging up.
So then he was in the movie, and he was like, woo. He was like, woo. He was like, I didn't know it was all this. I was like, oh, because I'll be honest, y'all, I picked the movie. I did. I picked the movie. It wasn't a first date, which was fine. But like, I picked the movie, and he was like,
You're
"Oh
hilarious.
my God,
you're hilarious." That's what you are. Okay, so, but sorry, my movie of the year was Wicked.
I believe that's fair. That's fair.
So sudden and new. Listen, okay, in all fairness, I grew up as a theater kid, so I very much am well versed in show tunes, and Wicked has always been the instrumental, the soundtrack, the music of Wicked has always been one of my favorite shows music wise. Not necessarily like full on play wise. But needless to say, huge Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth fan stans, okay? So to see Ariana Grande, who I know is a huge theater nerd, and then Cynthia Erivo, who has the pipes of a literal angel, come together.
She was singing down.
And they sung every song on that live. Like, when I thought about that, and then the scene of when she goes completely upside down and her voice does not waver, I said, oh, we're dealing with an insane person.
Yes.
Like, Cynthia Erivo?
Yes.
Cynthia Erivo. Okay. Like, there's something magical inside of that woman that I don't think, like, many people understand. Like, you just have it or you don't. And I think that movie couldn't have been any better. As someone who loves the musical, but also, too, just loves the music, I don't think they could have picked anyone or casted anyone better for that movie. Like, it was so well done. And Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, like, they should be so proud of that moment. And like, that's a movie I will never forget.
Yeah, I went and saw it in IMAX too, so it was.
Oh, so you felt every. Yes. Well, yes.
You know, as an AMC A-list member, I just be like, I just need to go see shit. Yeah, I paid $20 a month and 3 movies a week, 3 free ones.
Okay. Moving on to the next category, best documentary film. Do you have one?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's okay. Because I see it's not here on the screen.
Yeah, I don't have one.
So for me, and
I don't think I watched it. I don't really like care for documentaries too much.
I'm a documentary girl.
I don't really. I prefer it in like podcast form.
Okay, that's fair. I love documentaries down. Like, you could tell me there's a new like murder mystery documentary. I'm like, oh, I'm locked in.
I don't do those well.
But for me, the best documentary that came out was Prime Video's I Am Celine Dion.
Oh, the Megan Thee Stallion doc.
That also
I did watch that. I forgot.
Very good one. But
that one was really good.
They both actually were.
I didn't watch
good.
I Am.
The Celine Dion one tore me a new one. Like, when I tell you, because like, okay, again, grew up a theater kid, grew up someone who's like sang. And Celine Dion, it was Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, my idols. And seeing the talent that Celine Dion still has, and seeing her going through stiff person syndrome, seeing her capture that on camera, hats off to her. Like, she truthfully is such a strong person, and I think like her making that documentary was so pivotal to like, one, I think it was important for her to explain to her fans why she really had to like take a pause from performing. But also two, I think like through that, like, you just really saw an artist and someone who knew what it is that they were destined to do and to be here and do, like, completely. It showed like the rawness and the realness of her being like, fuck, like, this is what I was meant to do, this is my life's mission, and it's being like pulled from me. And like, as a creative, as an artist, like, that frustration to me seems unimaginable, and somehow she continues to go on, and she perseveres, and she still goes out there and she still kills it. And like, all I can say is that, like, respect to her, like, creative artist to artist. Like, Celine Dion is a fucking legend, and that documentary tore me the fuck up. I cried like probably 5 times throughout that documentary. So
damn. Okay, well, maybe I will tap in.
You should go watch it. It's not anything that would like make you like upset. Like, it's nothing racist.
Yeah, it's just real.
It's just like her experience, her going through a medical situation, and her also just like going through her career highs and stuff like that. She like even like breaks down her warehouse of all the beautiful fashion that she's worn over the years. Oh, I love it. She's just such a star. Okay. Next up, best pop culture moment.
I am gonna have to go with, this is a cultural moment as well. Who the Fuck Did I Marry was really like,
people forget that happened this year.
That, like, I will never forget us sitting in my living room, airplaying that to the TV, and we sat and watched that for like what, 2.5 hours. Watched
straight.
How many parts was it? It was like
50,
like 50s,
52.
Yeah, 52, 53 parts. We watched all of that straight through, and everything was like, damn. And nobody has been able to replicate that moment. No, I've been trying to see other people be like, try to do the 50-part story. But I think first and foremost, Risa Tisa is a storyteller. Like, I don't know how she did it, because she was really just like sitting in the bed, just telling a story. Like, it was no theatrics, it was no editing, it was just her speaking.
It was just
but it was so engaging and just overall so crazy that I was like, damn. Like, I think the whole thing, like, even, and my mom does not have TikTok, and she don't even be on social media like that either. But my mom went on YouTube and looked at like all the parts like coagulated, and she went and watched it. And that was one of the things where a lot of people didn't even, like, even if you didn't have social media, like, I feel like her views,
you tapped in somehow.
Her views on TikTok are not even correct. It's like, yeah, she got those, but then people were reposting, rewatching. Yeah. There was a lot of stuff on YouTube of people just putting it all into one. The whole thread was on Twitter. I was like, they need to run my girl her coin. Like, she's missing a couple, but I mean, some checks for real, because of just how like widespread that video was. But I gotta give it to Who the Fuck Did I Marry.
It all panned out for her, because now she's signed by CAA. Like,
they're turning it into a show too, or a movie.
Yes, and now they're turning it into.
I think is it Natasha Rothwell?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see that come to fruition, and she's just like, no one will ever be able to replicate that is like, she broke like social media history.
Yes.
And I hope she understands that, and to see like her be able to go to Paris and travel and do all the things that she said she wanted to do, and now go around the country and speak to people and like be this like mentor figure, and like really now work in like the film industry. Like, I'm just really excited for her, and I'm very happy for her. She deserves all of the flowers, all of the accolades, and she really was just another Black woman who had to deal with some dumb ass shit
at the hands of a man. We can move on to our best viral moment.
Wait, I didn't say mine.
Oh, we have the same one. The best pop culture moment?
We do. I was just gonna, hold on, I just wanted to add some.
Oh, okay.
So mine is the same, but I was gonna say I believe that this was more of just a viral moment because, like I said, it was a cultural moment, but also too, like, when we played her videos, you didn't have to like sit down and watch her in the same way that like most TikToks.
Oh yeah,
you have to watch it. Like I had this on as I was cleaning up my house.
Yeah, it was getting podcasts. It was giving podcasts.
Doing my laundry. Like I could sit and walk around and listen to this. Like, I also think that's too why it did so well, because you weren't like, you didn't have to be looking into your phone necessarily. Like her, because she was speaking to camera, it wasn't like she was like really showcasing you much. So I just wanted to point that out, and why I think that was more than a viral moment. It was a cultural moment. Mm-hmm. And it was a cultural shift because I also think too, like, it was just another wake up moment of like, okay, this is what we're not going to deal with men. And partners and yeah. So, and it also made me reflect on like past relationships I had, and I was like, yeah, that wasn't okay, you know, stuff like that. So, and again, like you said with your mom, my mom ended up watching the whole thing too, and my mom was like, girl, this shit.
It was just egregious. I was just like, imagine, like, it just kept getting like vile. Like I was just like, imagine, like, wow. It was just. I think there was also.
She had to go through all that trauma.
There was also a lot to unpack there, because I don't even think she should have ever went on a date with him.
Yeah.
And there was just too much lying from the jump, and there's like, I don't want to get into too much of it right now, but there's like a larger conversation about
we've had a
black women being. Oh, we did have an episode about it,
about this that you can go back and look.
If you weren't present for that, but just like a larger conversation about black women just being conditioned to take anything for the sake of having a man or not being single. Yeah. So she fell victim to that, unfortunately. But just overall, like, it was very layered. It was just that was a moment.
It was.
And she was on Good Morning America with that one. I was like, wow.
She was on everything. Like, they brought her on a whole press tour. Okay, best viral moment.
This was obviously not the most viral one, but I will say it's my favorite one.
Okay.
When Dev the Menace created that theater desk.
Yes.
Oh yes, oh yes, they both. Oh yes, they both. Oh yes, they both. Reach for the gun, the gun, the gun. Oh yeah, oh yes, they both. Reach for the gun, for the gun. That was really.
Shout out to Chicago, another amazing musical.
It's been like this like 10-part saga, and then like it became this bigger trend, and then oh my gosh, the Who dance company.
Why am I blanking right now?
The Debbie Allen Dance Company. Debbie Allen Dance Company reached out to him, and he just met Debbie Allen like a couple days ago.
And like that was one of his dreams.
Yeah, so that was my favorite one, where like he was on TikTok crying, and I got emotional with him because he was like, "Y'all, I'm just like a little gay boy," and he was like, "I never would have thought this."
He's a theater geek.
Yeah,
like he's a theater lover, and I think too, like, I very much see this for him. He's gonna be on a Broadway show.
Oh my God, I hope so.
He's gonna be on a Broadway show.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
So that was it for me. That was just a very like wholesome, very like you just get your flowers moment, like very happy for them. It wasn't the most like popular,
but that dance was viral.
But it was viral on like our side of TikTok. I wouldn't say like everybody like knew about that.
I think the dance was viral, but the story of him might have not been viral because
I'm talking about the story of him, not the dance. I'm talking about the story of him.
Well, because to me, like, because he made the dance, so, and it was across all of TikTok. To me, that is a very viral moment. Like, I think that's a very viral moment.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give him that one.
Yeah, shout out to Dev the Menace. I have to say, Sister Jules LeBron.
Yeah, very demure.
Very demure.
Very demure. You used to have a little bit of chi-chi, not my chocho.
You see how I wear this turtleneck?
Very demure, very mindful.
Very mindful. I go to my job, I come to this podcast.
You see how I have a little bit of chi-chi, not my chocho.
Okay.
No, I love that for her. She was able to like get a new apartment. She was able to quit her job. She was able to pay her bills. Like, that was really a moment. That was really like a post the content moment.
Yeah, and that's what she talks about. Like, Jules, she literally talks about how, like, she's like, y'all, I literally was working at Target and I wasn't even gonna upload this video, and I fucking did. And she was just like, you know, I almost didn't upload that video, but this is living proof to show you that, like, you need to upload that video. So shout out to Jules. I love her. I love her content, period. But that, very demure, very mindful. I mean, that was like such a moment that like straight men were like very demure. I was like, y'all don't even know what that is. But okay.
Very demure.
So yeah, that was my most, I would say, viral moment of TikTok to me. And that is the best of our 2024.
That's the best of our 2024. First and foremost, I want to thank y'all for riding with us.
Yes.
We're going to be more consistent next year.
No, we are.
We are.
We've also had conversations offline. So just to be fully transparent with y'all, because I feel like we could have communicated this better to y'all. The reason why we haven't been able to record was, one, first and foremost, me and Chandler have just been very overwhelmed by both of our careers.
Yeah.
Also, too, we've tried to find an editor. It just hasn't really worked out.
If you are an editor and can edit good and fast, please reach out to us at femininechaospodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and honestly, for real though.
No, like seriously,
Yeah.
we pay too.
We pay. That being said, that's really what held us back, was like we aired a whole episode before this, but it just wasn't able to.
We filmed. We didn't air.
Sorry, filmed. That was the struggle. Now we both. I mean, we still don't have an editor now, but like personally, me with my job situation and the way it's looking, I have some time to definitely dedicate back more to editing. And so we're going to figure it out. But even to like, there was times where we were just traveling a lot. And so now we've both like okayed that we don't necessarily have to be on this physical couch.
Yes.
We can do this
We'll
virtually.
be doing some virtual things.
Because
same quality, same good mic quality.
Yeah, it'll still be the same quality. It's just that we, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we show up for y'all and we maintain being consistent on here. And the way that we got to do that is we just got to be more flexible and don't have to think that everything has to be perfect and that everything has to look so polished and clean all the time, where it's just like, girl, they just want to hear what we have to say and keep up with the times. So I just want to say thank y'all to you all riding with us. This has been such a journey. I've learned so many things. Tears have been shed over this podcast. Moments that I will never forget. Community that has been brought out of this podcast. Just want to thank you all for your support.
Thank y'all so much.
Yes.
And to that, we do our last Feminine Chaos Cheers of
the
2024.
year.
Thank y'all so much for riding with us. And we'll be back in 2025.
And thank you to my man. Cheers, bitch.
We're not cheersing to that. What are you talking about? Hold on, y'all. The podcast is not over.
I was gonna let us get through this.
But then we don't need to be cheersing because the cheers is the end of the show.
Y'all, I'm talking to somebody. There you go.
Talking?
We're dating.
Okay. Just be correct.
Well, we're not in a relationship. It's not official yet, but I've rekindled some things. And that's all I'm going to say. And I'm very happy and it's very healthy. And yeah, like I'm very happy and it's very healthy.
Now we can cheers.
Cheers, bitch.
Cheers, bitch.